Okay, good. There you go. Yep, right out of the shower. Yeah, Mufasa for real right now, right? The biggest thing, especially when it gets to this length, is to make sure you're getting rid of your shed hair. So that's where the finger pulling comes in at the end. You want to pull. You don't want to, you don't want to be so timid and afraid to lose. Look, if you see that hair hanging, we really want to pull it away from the ends of the hair. And if it gets stuck, I mean, when your hair is wet, it's pretty forgiving. So go ahead and be aggressive and get that shed hair out, and make sure you get all over your head. Okay? Now, I'm not doing this to be gross. I just want to show you, because what I typically do as I'm pulling it out, and it gets kind of on your hands, I just turn into a ball and I just literally just throw it on my shower wall, so it doesn't go down my drain. Nobody wants a clogged drain, and we lose a lot of hair, and over time, you're going to end up doing the Drano thing. I mean, probably do it anyway, but that's the way I do it to try to save my drain. I guess technically it would be my third blowout. This time I used something a little different. I used my Cantu Shea for my moisturizer, and then I used this Motions heat protectant. Did a pass with the blow dryer on high but low speed, that way it wouldn't get really hot. And then before the second pass I put in this, and I think I showed this to you, and it says it's specifically good for blow drying, and it's also humidity resistant. So we'll see about that, because it's actually raining today. Yeah, I should have checked the temperature. I should have checked the weather yesterday, but I don't know. It seems like every time I straighten my hair, it rains the next day. I also bought this. It's the first time I used it. Yeah, I haven't used one of these in a really long time. So, but what I did with this was try to help get my ends a little bit straighter. As I went along, I realized to do my ends first and then do the rest of my hair, and that worked out pretty well. This is really the only time I use a silk scarf. Other times I just kind of go to bed. I don't really worry about it. I don't really have, my hair really doesn't get caught in my pillows or anything like that. And what I did as I went along this time is just did random, I can see better here, 2-strand twists. It's really funny. Every time I do this, I just think about, perming my hair, and, I don't know. It's still kind of disturbing. Oh, which brings me to something I think I need to speak on right now. In one of my last question and answer videos, I was bringing up, I brought up the term protective styling, because I said I didn't feel like we needed to do anything different from what other hair types do. Now, oddly enough, I got some messages saying, well, how could I say that? I mean, obviously our hair is different, and, well, we don't comb it the same way, we don't put in the same kind of products, we don't manipulate it the same way, so how could I say that? I never, ever, ever said that we don't have to manipulate our hair differently. Of course we do. All I was saying was I don't like the term protective style, because I think it holds us back. There's no reason why we can't have our hair loose in the wintertime. It's not going to break off because it's cold. And, you know, I feel like we need to get away from feeling like we have to cover it up, that have to scenario. Now, you may have to change your products to suit the temperature, you know, and yes, other hairstyles do similar things like keeping your hair up, like put it up in buns and keep. That's all I'm saying. We don't have to do anything different. That's my point, all right? So I hope I made that clear. The second point I want to make is people were saying that, or asking, you know, if I had long hair when I had permed hair. And the answer is yes. And I believe you'd find most people who have thicker strands, individual strands, tended to have longer hair even with perms. And that's because your hair, number one, can take abuse, a lot more abuse before it shows really extreme signs of damage, and therefore the growth will happen before you really notice any damage. It's just meant that you were able to hide it a lot better. Now, if you typically had very short hair and a lot of breakage, all that is telling you is that your hair strands were fine, which means that it couldn't take the same kinds of abuse that my hair could. So therefore, your hair never had a chance to show length, because every time you did a process, it would cause more damage, and your damage just showed up a lot faster. But that is no indication of what your hair is going to look like as a natural. You know, it's especially if you're just getting started. Don't judge your hair right away. You're just getting started. Give yourself time. You know, I didn't grow this in a month, because even when we die, our hair keeps growing. And I'm sure if you open up some caskets of some girls who went in there with some permed hair, they probably got a nice big bushy fro down there by now, you know, that they didn't have because they kept manipulating it in life. I mean, okay, that might have been a bit extreme of an example, but, you know, it's true. Okay, hope I'm not looking cross-eyed. Let's take a vote. How many of you think that was really humidity resistant? Go ahead, vote. Yeah, no. Yeah. What? You know, why I did this on a rainy day, I have no idea. So what am I gonna do? Okay, I'm about to go to bed. I just decided to go ahead and twist it back up and see what happens in the morning. I really need to cut my ends though. Can you see that? I'm testing some different color modes. I didn't even know I had on my camera. Look, my lipstick looks black and white. That's kind of cool, right? Well, another issue I have is sometimes I get questions that are like literally within the first minute of my videos. Like, I don't know, maybe people are just anxious for information, but it's like, you know, I'm not going to say what video it is because, you know, I'm not saying any of these things to offend anybody, but like I was putting some concoction in my hair, and the first thing I did was explain what it was, and I got a question, well, what is it made up of, and how did you apply it? Like, I mean, could you just watch the video first, maybe? I mean, that's the whole point of making the videos, is to give you that information. I mean, it would be kind of silly to say, oh, you know, I'm going to put this in my hair and then just go, ta-da, you know what I mean? And go, good luck figuring it out. Okay, so, I don't know, YouTube. You know, I don't know, maybe it's just general human, you know, human nature. It's not a rant. You know, I just want to make some points. You know, sometimes I think we get really overly sensitive on here, and you know, the whole point is just to kind of bring it down, relax, and be you. You know, whatever that is. All right, natural ladies and fellas, good luck with your hair. Give yourself time. one more thing. Look at this. I think it's even longer than the last time I did this. I'm at booby, y'all. Always knocking shit over. Look, y'all, I'm bra strap. And literally, that's my bra strap. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfuckers.